This is a fan-generated show. If you would like to support us, please go to jamieglazov.com, and also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. All your support is greatly appreciated.
Good evening. Welcome to the Jamie Glazov Moment. Tonight, Chelsea Handler compares Gaza to Auschwitz. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got the face of the left once again being unveiled and unmasked for all to see. This time around, the comedian, I really have to put quotation marks around that because I don't think I've laughed once at anything Chelsea Handler has ever said. Comedian, but I think we can also just call her Jew hater now. It would be an appropriate label for her. She's really busy lately, just infuriated right now, and it's no surprise because Trump, and God bless our president, has moved the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem. And all of the beautiful things that this represents. It empowers Israel, enables Israel, recognizes Israel in so many myriad ways. This is a very beautiful moment for peace-loving people, for human rights-loving people, just obviously for Israel-loving people, but it's an empowerment also overall. Whenever Israel is empowered, human rights is empowered, Western civilization is empowered, democracy and liberty, humanity, everything. So whenever Israel is empowered, we've got the usual suspects foaming at the mouth, chattering at their teeth, and the left and Islamic supremacists, they're just going crazy right now because Jew hatred, among many other things, is their common denominator of what forms that alliance. And ladies and gentlemen, by the way, you already know this, but this is the litmus test here. You can always tell. Whenever you see something wonderful happening in terms of Jewish people in Israel, whoever's for it, we know that they're good, and whoever's against it, we know who they are. So with President Trump doing this, it's very obvious who Trump is and what interests he's serving. And I mean the good ones, including, because I'm a Christian, I would say also the good spiritual forces. And can just leave it to your imagination what that means. But if there are spiritual forces, we know the ones that hate Israel and the Judeo-Christian tradition and Christianity and all that. So it's no surprise here that once again the left is just going crazy, and Chelsea Handler is right on the front lines. And she's tweeting some very intriguing things, if that's a word to use. She's on Twitter, foaming at the mouth, attacking UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, defending Hamas. But some of her tweets have been very interesting. She's comparing Netanyahu to Adolf Hitler. And she's comparing the Palestinians in Gaza, this death cult in Gaza, Hamas, and they're waging a genocide against Israelis. She's comparing this death cult's genocide against Israel and Israelis to the millions of Jewish people who were mass murdered in the Holocaust. I need about an hour to talk about what this means. Go get the full story on this. I give credit to the Daily Wire right now in terms of my moment. They've done a great story on this. And just showed everything that was going on and the tweets back and forth to people who called out Chelsea Handler. But look it up at the Daily Wire. Depraved. This is the title. Depraved. Chelsea Handler compares Netanyahu to Hitler and Gaza to Auschwitz. Let's just go over two of her tweets. It would be like Hitler saying Auschwitz is all about helping the Jews stay warm. And then she directs that at Nikki Haley on Twitter. Then the other tweet. Now the Bibi crazies are running the show unchecked and will effectively turn Gaza and the left bank, I think she obviously means the West Bank, into starvation camps or mental asylums, if not already, and bomb Iran into submission. There will be a religious term for this. I think the evangelicals call it the rapture. So, speechlessness can only follow here. Look, I think I'll just leave it for really what it is, really what it says. This says everything about the left. It says everything about its alliance with Islamic supremacism. But we have a reality here that a death cult is waging genocide against the Israeli people. This is a death cult that sacrifices its own children in that Jew-hating hatred, okay? And they're killing innocent Jews. Jewish people are being exterminated. And Chelsea Handler is comparing this to Jews dying in the Holocaust, whereas in fact, Hamas is doing exactly what Hitler did and exactly what the Nazis did, okay? So Hamas and this Palestinian death cult is continuing what the Nazis set out to do. They want to finish it. And people like Chelsea Handler are saying that they're actually the victims and that the Israelis are actually the Nazis. But this is what totalitarians do. They always flip the script. They're always doing this. And I'll just say this. This represents many things, what Chelsea Handler is doing. But what we see here, in the end, is Holocaust denial. Because in doing this, Chelsea Handler is insulting the memory of all the victims of the Holocaust. She's trivializing and minimizing the monstrous evil of the Holocaust by making these grotesque comparisons and analogies and turning them upside down. She's really pushing the Holocaust into historical amnesia. She's pushing it into invisibility. And it's a disrespect and an insult to the victims of the Holocaust. And it's a minimization and trivialization, once again, of what the Holocaust was. Those of us who study history and psychology, we know that Holocaust denial ultimately is the yearning for another Holocaust. It's the support of the Holocaust. We know that Gulag denial ultimately is the yearning for more Gulag and the support of Gulag. Just like today, we know that jihad denial always enables jihad because it's a support of jihad ultimately. So Chelsea Handler is really showing her colors here. There is, and there are, some Nazi stripes inside between the lines here of what she's saying and articulating. So this is what I want to ask, therefore. This is unbridled, unfiltered Jew hatred on Twitter. Why is Chelsea Handler still on Twitter? Why has Milo been banned off Twitter for just engaging in just some really benign and just he's arguing on Twitter, debating very, you know, benign stuff that falls within just normal boundaries of discourse and debate, maybe even poking some fun at somebody and things get a little bit heated. But he's been banned off Twitter, whereas Hamas and Hezbollah are still on Twitter, right? And far more harsher things are said against Donald Trump and others on Twitter than Milo has ever said to anyone and about anyone. And the Trump haters still on Twitter, Milo's not on Twitter. Tommy Robinson, who stands for, you know, for the rights of people suffering under Islamic law, suffering under Sharia. Tommy Robinson standing up against jihad and Islamic law and Sharia, trying to bring awareness to so many suffering people, Muslim and non-Muslim alike. He's kicked off Twitter. Bosch Foston, the illustrator, the cartoonist, simply an illustrator that's on Twitter, also just telling the truth about the sources and the inspirations of jihad and Sharia law. He's been suspended from Twitter. But Chelsea Handler can engage in this kind of grotesque insults at the Jewish people, hatred of the Jewish people, hatred of Israel, a mockery, an insult to the victims of the Holocaust, and to trivialize and minimize what the Holocaust was. And she just gets to be on Twitter and not one word is said. Another reminder of the left's heart of darkness, and another reminder of what Twitter is about and who runs Twitter. Very surreal Stalinist times. Get involved, my friends. Protest this on social media. Protest this on Twitter. Work hard at unmasking. Even though they're unmasking themselves, we have to continue unmasking them further for who they really are. And I'm referring to all the members of the Unholy Alliance. And that alliance is between the left and Islamic supremacism that's attacking the foundations daily of freedom and liberty. And so therefore, of course, they're going to hate Israel and the United States and the Judeo-Christian tradition. That's a mouthful for tonight. I hope I got a certain point across. We'll see you on the next Jamie Glazov Moment. Good night.